baby! We are here with the GT winner!
Yes, sir.
Colton! And if you don't know, if you didn't see our last podcast or our last tier list, we did a Deathwatch tier list, and we explained why Colton, that you normally know as Colton, is Sea Dog, and this is the real Colton. It's because he's the best. He wins the GTs for our team. Colton is a member of Pactbound, the team that we are all a part of. And today, we're going to look through his list and his matchups that led him to victory. Colton, would you like to say anything?
No, I'm just, I'm happy to be here. Happy to share my list with y'all. See what we can, spread a little bit of knowledge about Deathwatch. Not a lot of people know about him, so it'll be good.
No.
Let them know why they need to get nerfed.
They do probably need to get nerfed.
All right. Well, let's get into it.
Tell us about your list.
Tell us what you took and why you took it, and tell us a little bit about what it does.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the core of the list. Well, I guess we can just start with characters, right? So I've got 4 of these Johns. I've got the Captain of Gravis Armor. He leads my Indomitor kill team. I've got the Judicar and the Watchmaster. They both lead veteran squads. Judicar's got the Thief of Secrets, which is the extra strength, AP, and damage enhancement, or 2 after he's killed a model.
How many points is that?
The enhancement, I believe it might be 20. I think it's 20 points.
Oh, okay.
Why is the other one 10? I'm going to bitch about that in my life, dude.
All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then I've got the Lieutenant with combi weapon for a little bit of actions. The other enhancement I've got over there is the Tomb of the Ectoclades on the Gravis Captain. It gives me a once per game second oath target, which is super nice.
What is the army rule for Deathwatch, or what is the detachment? What does it do?
So the detachment rule for Deathwatch, it's called mission tactics. It's like a lot like the
like Gladius, right?
Yeah, it's a lot like Gladius, but it's like, so we get 3 things that we can use once per game. And they are army-wide lethal hits, army-wide sustained hits, and army-wide precise hits on crits, which never comes up. But the first 2 are really good. So, yeah,
So do you have like a strat where you can spend a CP and then put somebody in that?
Yeah, it's either 1 non-kill team or 2 kill teams.
Ooh,
sick.
That's nice.
It's great. It is value. All right, back down here to battle line. I've got, like I said, I've got the 2 veteran squads. I've got a 10-man and I've got a 5-man. And I've got the intercessors there to hold my home. Veterans are awesome in Deathwatch. I just love them. Like, on paper, they are like not super powerful, right? But not everyone's ready for some quality damage 3 attacks coming through.
Yeah, the Thunderhammers, dude.
Yeah, man. And especially when you can give them like lethal hits or sustained hits to really just, multiply your output. It's gross. Yeah, and then their shooting is not bad either. They can just pick off some stuff that, pick off scoring units, kill some marine bodies. Nuts. I got 2 rhinos. They carry my boys, my veterans, into the combat. Gotta have them around, and they act as action pieces a little bit later in the game.
For sure.
They make it there.
That's right. You put them in rhinos. They don't have to be impulsors.
Yeah, well, they are firstborn, so.
Okay.
Oh, true.
Yeah. All right, so here's the meat and potatoes of the list. I've got 2 of the Termi squads with the Cyclone Missile Launcher Rex.
Nice.
They are pretty cheap at 190. They're not bad. Especially with their 6, strength 9, AP2 damage D6 shots. Like, they're not bad at all.
What do they have, a 2 up, 4 up?
Yeah, 2 up, 4 up. And then 2 of the guys in the squad have the Thunderhammers, so that they get they have a Storm Shield so that they get extra wounds too. So if I'm going at somebody with a 3 damage shooting, it's a little bit safer for me.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah, they're great. Like I said, I got 2 of those. I'm running an Indomitor kill team here. They've got the heavy bolters, the heavy bolt rifles on the heavy intercessors, the melta guns on the eradicators, and flamesword gauntlets on the aggressors. Give me a little bit of Overwatch protection. And just strength 6 twin linked flamers is pretty strong. So no one's really complaining about that.
Yep.
I'll come back to this guy in a second, but my last kill team is gonna be the Talon Strike. I love the Talon Strike. If you watch the tier list, I love the Talon Strike. It's so good. It's so good. It's just so many wounds all the time.
For sure.
Like sustain 2 on something that you're getting like with Oath is just, you end up with so many more shots than you should.
Yeah,
Huge fan of that team.
Very good unit.
Yeah,
So,
very, very good unit.
What all armies do you currently play, Colton?
I play Deathwatch, Dark Angels, Ultramarines, and Orcs.
So what was your thought process behind, was Mordaka nerfed by the rules cutoff?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, so what was your thought process on, hey, I know Mordaka is like really good right now. You had a RTT with him, right?
True. Yeah, I had.
So you had just had a lot of success with that. What was your thought process on picking Deathwatch? Like, hey, I want to take this and go win with Deathwatch at this GT.
Yeah, so I mean, Deathwatch is like they were my first army. I got to 2,000 points, right? So they have a special place in my heart for sure. But also Mordaka, I think it's very good. Obviously, it's very strong. You deserve to be nerfed, but it's also kind of easy to beat depending on who you're playing.
For sure.
I think it's got some really, really bad matchups, and that's just a story for orcs. It has been for the whole edition. They've got truly terrible matchups. And if I'm going to a 5-round event where I'm going to play 5 random lists, I don't want those terrible matchups.
Especially with how good they are, knowing people are probably teching against that matchup.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can ask, I know Vyasar, he was at the event, he was tagging for Mordaka because he had to, and he destroyed the Mordaka list that he played whenever he ran it. So it's like, I didn't want that to be me going into this event. And I know that Deathwatch is like, maybe it's definitely not as strong as Mordaka was, but it doesn't have any like auto lose matchups.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So
yeah,
that's what I'm a big
which
fan
I
of it.
mean, we just played, and go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. We just played a Mordaka battle report on the channel, and honestly, I ran a stomp. I rank out of a meme list, and I only own 1 unit of tank busters. So even with that, it was still incredibly impressive running with the post nerf with tank busters. They're still fucking insane.
Tank busters are nuts.
They are,
Yeah.
they're crazy. Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's definitely impressive, but, like, see, I'm limited by it, too, where I was going to bring a stomp because I don't have all the shooting units for orcs. And it worked when I went to Abilene because they have a very, like, melee-heavy, like, high armor meta, and I'm like, that works great for me. But then I played it against, like, Marines, and I just lost my Stompa and lost the game, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to do this at a 5-round event. So,
I mean, the Stompa is can definitely skew against your opponent, because if your opponent can deal with it, it's getting picked up in 1 turn, and you don't get the full value of the 800 points, or your opponent's not dealing with it at all game. I feel like there's very little in between.
for sure, absolutely.
Yep. All right. Well, knowing that, let's go ahead and go into your matchups.
What's the Thunderstrike do? What's the Thunderstrike
Yeah,
deck?
so this is the
bad.
the Storm Speeder that gives you +1 to wound when it hits something or it hits a monster or vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
Stole that from the LVO winner. He ran that. But we really just run it because Deathwatch doesn't get +1 to wound on their oaths, so you want to punch up a little bit, and a lot of your shooting is pretty low strength, so it really does help you just punch up into those tougher, obstacles you're going to be facing.
All right, so we have just gone over Colton's goated with the sauce Deathwatch list. Now we're going to go through each one of the matchups, and we're going to talk through how it went, what was good, what was bad, and So let's talk about round 1. Who'd you go up against?
I went up against Mr. Isaiah Rodriguez round 1. Yep. So
It's guard.
yeah, dude, I was actually really scared about this round 1. So Deathwatch
Yeah, for sure.
tend to struggle into like mass, just like T10 bodies. Or I say that I've only ever had good games into them, but they scare me. Right.
On paper.
So on paper,
I think
right?
natively it scares everybody, right? It's like, how am I going to deal with all this?
Yeah.
This
So
toughness.
he's playing combined arms, and I think it was a total of 8 Lehman Russos.
Jeez.
Yeah, he
Wow.
ran like 2 Death Korps of Krieg, 3 Death Korps of Krieg units, and then like 4, sorry. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 Lehman Russos and 2 tank commanders.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I think he got first turn. I deployed pretty safely. And then no, I got first turn. I put like a rhino out on an objective to do containment and like just hold something. And he ended up exposing like 5 of his tanks to shoot at the rhino and the guys inside.
Oh, no.
So at the end of his turn, I mean, this is a pretty common thing for me to do, is just like put something out there, give you something to bite on, and then you're like, I'm going to dedicate probably too much to it, and I'm like, dope, awesome. I'm going to pull up, my 2 biggest units, and I did, and I pulled up my Talon Strike and my Indomitor, and then I dropped both of those back in and my other vets, and I picked up his good tank commander, a Vanquisher, and one of the autocannon tanks.
Jeez.
Yeah, I just dropped in and like destroyed them, and then ended up banking a 9-inch charge onto one of his 2 of his other tanks and wrapped him up in combat. Yeah, it was gross. Honestly, from that point on, he was playing pretty behind, just because he didn't expect me to be able to pick up so much. Shout out to the Thunderstrike this game. I got super lucky with it. I had dedicated like 3 units to make him a tank commander. and it dropped in, and with its 3 anti-tank shots, picked up the tank commander itself.
What?
Sick.
Wounding on
Yeah.
5s?
Fucking
Wounding
sick.
it's
On
one
two
big
of 'em.
gun's wounding on 3s, and the other 2 are wounding on 5s.
That's
But yeah.
wild.
And it
That's
doesn't get the lethal hits
crazy.
from my army either, so I just did that raw.
Natty.
Yeah, go.
Yeah,
Dude,
natty.
hell yeah.
And then I was able to dedicate the Indomitor shooting to picking up a different tank, and some
So
guardsmen.
this game was pretty much decided from turn 1 and turn 2.
Yeah, totally. Honestly, like with Deathwatch, that's a pretty common theme. I kind of know how it's going to go after those. But yeah, this was a pretty, like, I think this game had a lot of potential to go pretty terrible for me, but thankfully I was able to kind of take the upper hand pretty quick and hold on to it. So
Dude, hell yeah.
not too
Hell
bad
yeah.
there. Let me see if I can open up my round 2 game. It's gonna be really annoying. Round 2 was probably the easiest game I played the entire event. I played into Warhost.
Oh, snap. Hell yeah.
Yeah, this is Aaron Dickey's Warhost. He's a good guy, good player. I think he didn't realize how badly he needed to screen me out.
Yeah. Just kind of
So-
let you do whatever you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much exactly right. So I threw my my Watchmaster Rhino in like the middle like U objective so that I could like get pretty easy advancing charges out. And then everything else is pretty hidden. I moved the Judicar up onto the main point, my natural expansion, and he threw his the Wave Serpent with 10 fire dragons and Infuegan through the middle and used it to just destroy my Rhino. That's really all he could see with it, with what he got.
No.
So he dedicated way too early on not enough, and then he
Yeah.
charged Striking Scorpions into my Judicar unit.
Oh no.
What?
So I don't think he
Did he not know that they
realized.
fought first?
No, he did, but I don't think he realized how strong they were. Because he was like, yeah, you're hitting on 4s with everything except the Judicar. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And so he killed
Sure.
I just killed the units entirely with my Judicar.
Yeah, that's about how I would expect
Yep.
that to go.
I kind of felt bad. I feel like I should have like said something to him, but I've played against elves before where they're like, I'm going to throw away this unit and then spend 2 CP to fight on death and then kill your unit back. So that
Yeah.
neither of us was playing with that piece. And like, I thought that's kind of what his plan was, but that's a
Well,
Yannari
striking
thing.
scorpions aren't known for their durability. So, like, why would you charge? I don't feel like, I mean, if he knew that, if he was tracking that they fought first, then, like, what else are you supposed to say?
Yeah,
You know?
I don't know. Yeah, I was like, cool. I guess that's what we're doing here.
I could
like,
see
you know,
it being okay, maybe
And-
if one lives and ties up the unit, but that's about it.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, true.
Well, but also he was like, I asked him at the beginning, I was like, hey, are you familiar with Deathwatch? You know what my list does? And he was like, yep, I know Deathwatch. I'm a Deathwatch guy. And I was like, cool,
Nice.
easy enough.
Save some
Um,
time.
Sounds good.
I think he may have underestimated their power, but it's fine. Like I said, I did that and I took the natural expansion on my turn, and then he just left me so much open space. So at the bottom of 2, he was pretty much tabled, or top of 2, he was pretty much
damn.
tabled, and then top of 3, he just had an Avatar of Cain left.
My
Sheesh.
golly.
So
You had a
Yeah,
bunch
I
of
mean-
characters.
yeah, he had the Autarch and the Inflagon both joined Fire Dragon squads. Harath, he left me space in his deployment zone to drop down and kill him with Termes.
Mm.
And then
Unfortunate.
Eldrad's annoying, bro. That guy,
He's the CP guy, right?
he's a CP guy, and then he gives you +1 to wound on any target you
Oh,
can see.
snap.
So yeah, pretty
Yeah.
cool there. You never got to use him, but it was pretty cool.
Chains are
Yeah, and then Jane Czar joined a squad of like
Banshees, probably.
Guardians. No, yeah, Banshees,
Oh.
Banshees,
Okay.
you're right. But he didn't charge with them, and then left them where I could like just drop aggressors behind him and flame them. So I did.
Damn.
But yeah, so this game was a bit of a blowout. This is probably the most blowout game I had the entire
Yeah, of the,
Okay.
of the GT.
All right, game 3.
It's
we were up
crazy
against-
whenever someone underestimates how much you can do and then throws a ton of stuff out, and then you're like, hey, I can actually pick up all this stuff that you just put out.
Everything's
Like I said,
dying.
Deathwatch is like on paper it doesn't look good, but with like all the buffs you're stacking up, you become so lethal, and I don't think people
Mhm.
realize that.
Mhm.
Okay, so round 3, I was up into Canoptic Court Necrons.
Mhm.
I was
Josh
personally
Archer from Barnhammer.
Mr. Josh Archer, yep, a rival. I was personally pretty worried about this game just because I've played against
sure.
Josh's Necrons before and I've had trouble picking them up.
And
And
Josh is a very good player as well.
yeah,
Mhm. He is.
extremely talented, very skilled.
Yep.
And something about his list that really scared me, let's see if I can find him. He had these immortals, which ended up being better than I thought they would be, to be honest with
For
you.
sure. Yep.
Dude, these Doomstalkers, these are like kryptonite for Deathwatch, man.
Yep.
Damage 3.
Damage 3, D6 plus 1 blast, wounding me on 2s. Like, they're scary. So I was playing pretty conservative this game. I think this is like the only game where I didn't just drop and just like go ham, round 2. I'm trying to remember what like cracked this game open for me. Oh, he dropped his he moved his 10-man immortal squad to take my natural expansion objective, right? And left him out in the open. And so I dropped the Talon Strike in the middle and the Indominator in the middle, but like a little bit hidden where you couldn't just see me with Doomstalkers, right?
For free.
And I was expecting to take a really, really big Overwatch because they're pretty scary like that. And he just didn't. He chose not to.
Okay.
So with that, I was able to pop anti-infantry 2 up strat on my Inceptors.
Yup.
And since it's a really gross strat. And since the Wraiths
disgusting.
have a character in them that's an infantry, I'm winning them on 2s.
Oh, yeah. Because they get the keyword.
Yeah, and so I just
Oh,
picked
yeah.
up. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
shit.
bad.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's gross. He didn't think about it either till after the game. I explained everything, and he was like, I didn't even realize that's how that worked. But yeah, you got me.
Yep.
So I ended up dedicating my Watchmaster veteran squad over there too. And so I picked up like all but 2 Wraiths with the Inceptors and then brought it down to just the character with the Watchmaster. Which was
Perfect.
pretty huge.
Yeah, that's fucking insane. Because Wraiths, I feel like make or break that whole list, right?
I mean, they're like, and I think the really big thing is that like they're 4 wounds with a 5 Feel No Pain, and then I'm like flat 3 damage or I'm flat 2 damage, and I'm like, so like you're not really getting the efficiency you want.
For sure.
And yeah, and he also made the mistake of leaving some room in his back room for me, so I was able to drop in and get a charge on his Doomstalker, one of them, to like shut it down pretty early. So that game went pretty well for me, obviously. And I picked up the Immortals on turn 2. It was just he left me enough to bite on where I went and picked everything up. Still a scary game. It was easily the closest game because those Doomstalkers just destroy me. Yeah. Any mass damage 3 with like some AP is just bad for me. It just is.
Berserkers,
dude. Yeah. Dude, the veterans are really good in the World Leaders matchup though. Oh, Berserkers for
Votan Berserkers.
Votan, yeah. Probably hate that game, honestly. We have to see. But yeah, like I said, this game was pretty solid.
Nice.
Definitely the close one had Josh played really, really well. I can't be mad at him at all. Into round 4 was the game I was easily the most scared of, the one that I did not want to play at all going into this event.
Right?
Yeah.
You played Sebastian?
I did play Sebastian.
Seabass, new member of Pact Bound.
Yes,
Shout
sir.
out.
He rode up there with me, and the entire time I was like, I do not want to play this shit, man. I just don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's running triple Warden Custodes with some guard.
Praise be.
Yeah, praise be. Some bikes. Yeah, it's a little bit of everything that's good in Custodes right now.
We talked about it a little bit beforehand, which you told me that Seabass didn't run lines just because he was way more comfortable with Shield Host, which is totally
he just wanted to run what
he
knew he was good with, right?
Yeah. Especially when you're going to a GT, you're going to play way better with something that you know than something that is kind of unfamiliar to you.
For sure.
Yeah. But Triple Warden Custodes is fucking terrifying for anybody.
Yeah. Especially like Deathwatch can be, if you don't plan for it, can be a very like one-phase army. Like, I am here to shoot you. Yep. And I've got 2 decent melee pieces that I can use, but I am here to shoot you. So, I had the strategy going into this game that I'm going to pick a Warden squad every turn. That's all I'm worried about.
Yeah, just dedicate it.
That's all I'm worried about. I went first on this one. This game, I think I played out of my mind this game, being totally honest with you. I moved.
Flex on him.
Yeah, well, I mean, he played really well too, but I couldn't sleep this night, so I was thinking about how do I play the Custody game? What am I doing?
I've been there, dude. I've been there, for sure.
How do I win this matchup? And what ended up happening was that I got first turn, so I moved my Thunder Strike onto his natural expansion where he had some bikes. Thunder Strike's OC3, so I'm already like getting close to contesting it, And I was like, cool, I'm just going to throw some shots at bikes, and I'm going to hope to pick up one of them. The Thunder Strike is so much better than I give it credit for, gang. It's so good. I picked up the whole bike squad with my Thunder Strike.
no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
shit.
yeah, so like it's 3 shots wounding on 3s, damage d6 plus 1.
Mhm.
And then I have anti-fly on the other one, right? So I got like 3 wounds through with my good guns. He failed 2 saves. I rolled damage and picked up 2 bikes.
That's insane.
Yeah. And then I picked up some like sisters on turn 1 with some
Oh.
No, that would have been on turn 2. Yeah, that was turn 2. Yeah, so I did that on turn 1. He advanced and charged wardens over to fight me on that objective. And so his wardens were kind of stuck over there. And I'll be honest, the terrain kind of fucked Seabass up here, just because the ruin, they didn't have the right ruin, so it was facing the wrong way. So I was able to just sidestep a little bit in my deployment zone and see him with my damage 3 bolters, and I picked up like
That's bad.
3 or 4 wardens from that squad.
Bad.
And then I also had at that point had Terminators over there too, so his like guard were dealing with Terminators.
Yep.
So then on the other side of the board, he had another squad of wardens where he chose not to charge because he was just going to charge a rhino, pop a rhino, and do nothing. And so he just decided to leave it. I dropped my Talon Strike over, ignored cover, picked up like 3 of them, and then the Judicar got out and did Judicar things.
Yep.
Yeah, once you start picking up 1 or 2 wardens, the warden brick loses a ton of like power. Like
Well, and it's
the
not
value
even
goes
just
way
that.
down.
It's just that like once the Custodes player has used their 4-up Feel No Pain,
They're just
I'm
guard,
like,
but worse.
now I could kill you. Now I don't.
Yep.
Now I'm not worried about like the optics here. So
I feel like that's the same problem Deathwing Knights have, where it's like once you lose 2 or 3 of them, that unit's just
It's neutered,
yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
they're just vibing.
So
Which
yeah,
I personally have shifted away from wardens just because of that. If you go into a dual threat army, then their value goes way down. Plus, they went up in points. So, especially in Lions now, where guard get +1 to hit, +1 to wound, and rerolling
gross.
wounds if you're positioning it right.
It's
Their
gross.
shooting's fucking insane. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm still running the Judicar with Thief of Secrets explicitly for Custodes,
Sure.
just because
Makes
like
sense.
giving the Judicar damage 3 dev wounds, it's like
Yeah, that's especially in the Lions where they don't have Feel No Pains to mortals. It's insane. That's honestly also my biggest problem with bikes right now is they went up in toughness, they went up a wound, but if you're playing against something that can deal with it, like anti-tank shooting can just pick up 200 and how many points is it now? 225 points?
Yeah,
it's
for
fucking
3.
insane.
Yeah.
And they have the same melee profile as Venatori, which are cheaper and get to rapid ingress for free.
Yeah, I like the bikes, but like I knew in this matchup, like the only thing that Talon Strike is doing for me is killing bikes.
For sure.
It did that turn 1, and I was like, my guys, my goats.
Nice.
So yeah, and then from that point on, I was just kind of able to like, I'd picked up 2 warden squads. He ended up getting his 3rd warden squad into my deployment zone, which was horrifying.
For sure, yeah.
But Deathwatch, I'm so quickly able to reposition that I just fell back, picked him up with my Talon Strike, and then moved on.
Yep.
So
was he running grav tanks?
No grav tanks.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, so it's Custodes, and he doesn't have any really like scary shooting.
So you can just position wherever you want.
Yeah, I'm wherever I need to be for sure.
Yeah, I don't unless it's in Lions. I don't.
Scary, bro.
Bro, I'm saying, dude, she's even better in Lions. Let me tell you.
I bet.
But in any detachment that's not shield host or not, that's not Lions. I'm bringing 2 grav tanks. Auto take. That's the first thing that goes in my list.
Yeah, the grav tanks definitely scare me. See, but they scare me a little bit less than you might think, just because in these squads I have so many like in the Inceptor squad, I've got 5 guys that I don't really care about.
For sure.
And I'm just like, cool, that's 5 dead guys, and then my squad's still basically 100%.
It's honestly not even about the output that grav tanks do. It's about making your opponent play around it, right? Because you're not just going to drop a kill team out in the open like you would if they weren't running grav tanks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, definitely a way to keep me honest. But yeah, so this game went a little out of his favor whenever I was able to just and then final game, top matchup. This game was something. A lot of words were said between us this game.
Another Warhammer packed bound matchup.
Yeah,
Colton's out here fucking just taking names, dude.
Yeah, I'm out here. I think farming aura. I think is what he said. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I said some things I regret this game. In it with my chest. Hey, I got frustrated. You know, when we were complaining about dice a lot, so it was a little frustrating.
Playing against jail armies aren't super fun either.
Yeah, and I felt so. Here's the whole thing. I was playing against a jail army that really wanted turn 1, and I got turn 1. So
sure.
that's a huge start, right? He put 2 Nurglings up to like try and screen me out and start his like battle shock shenanigans, and I just walked up and I picked him up. I said, "You're not playing with those. Those are not pieces we're playing with."
Banned. Hard banned.
Banned. So we didn't have to worry about that at all. Round on his turn 1, he moved up a Great Unclean One onto the middle objective with a Droning Shroud. So it's got the I can only shoot you within 18. He's on the middle objective. I can reposition. I'm not worried about it. And then he threw Sloppity Bile Piper with the Canker Blight onto my natural expansion.
Name. I thought that was a fake name.
Dude, I love
don't
knowing
think
the
he's
names.
Real. Still don't think he's real, right?
Sloppity Bile Piper.
This guy's actually a demon, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. Not like in a real sense. He's that too.
Yeah.
But his whole thing with the Canker Blight is if I fail a battle shock while I'm within 6 of him, or maybe 9 of him, one of the two, I lose a model. I don't take wounds. I lose a model.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So super, super scary, right? And then he can make me take 5 or 6 battle shock tests a turn. Like it's a lot. It's a
That's
lot.
wild. They're minuses to them, aren't they? Too.
Yeah, -1. So
yeah.
And so he moved that out really, really far and started burning my natural expansion. So he gave me a lot of incentive to like play hard to it. And the really big thing that killed him here is he left me room in his deployment zone to drop Deathwing Terminator or Deathwatch Terminators and get a line of sight on them. So I dropped my Talon Strike, I dropped my Indomitor. Indomitor dealt I think it dealt 15 wounds to the Great Unclean One. Thunderstrike didn't do anything. And then the Talon Strike picked up most of the Plague Bearer squad, and then Deathwatch Terminators picked up the rest.
So it was pretty much over from that point.
Yeah, I mean, it fell over for sure. He definitely still had 2 Soul Grinders and Rodigus, but I hadn't lost anything. So it was...
Yeah.
I was
you picked
very
up
ahead.
all that. You were still at 2,000 points. He's playing from behind.
Not to mention, I don't know if this changed the game a ton, because I do have like a ton of killing power, right? But the Great Unclean One blew up. Dealt 1 wound to my veterans, my sweet baby boys. Dealt 6 wounds to the Soul Grinder.
Oh,
and then dealt 4 to his Demon Prince. His Demon Prince lived the whole game. I never touched it. Yeah, it was tough for sure. But yeah, from then I was just able to press the advantage. I picked up the other Soul Grinder on the next turn and Rodigus on the next turn. He charged his other Soul Grinder into my Judicar, and the Judicar picked up his Soul Grinder on its own.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Yup.
Army-wide like lethal hits is a hell of a drug, man. I'm telling you.
Dude, for sure.
Yeah, and then I was able to take his home objective. I think there was definitely room for better play, but I mean, stuff happens.
Yeah, it sounds like you were all gas, no breaks. Plus, it's game 5 of a GT, so
dude,
everybody's tired at this point.
I was gassed. I didn't even eat lunch.
Sure.
I was just like, I need this game to be over. I'm fucking.
Dude, I feel that most GTs that I go to, I'm so mentally drained. I'm like, I don't even want to eat.
No, I was like, we went to Whataburger. I ordered a shake, and I sat there and read Chaos Demon rules.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
dude, that's fucking sick. So what's your biggest takeaway from this tournament?
Screen Deathwatch, dude. Screen Deathwatch.
Yeah.
If you let me drop where I want to drop, the game is over. It just is.
For sure.
I have the killing power to take care of you. All of these overlapping buffs, they just increase my output so much that if you don't screen me and make me like choose bad options to like where to stand, it's gonna be table.
Yeah.
So if you're playing. So let's look at this from the perspective, like I play Custodes, right? So say that I don't have a ton of stuff to screen you out, but I have a Cowardice Assassin, right? Do you think it's also an acceptable play to try to like, hey, this is probably what he's going to go for. I'm going to try to position my Cowardice Assassin within 12 inches of where he has to drop to vect it to try to increase CP?
Yeah, absolutely. Or like if you can throw your Cowardice, because so my pickup's at the end of the fight phase, right? And I'm doing it for free most of the time because I've got like the Gravis Captain or I've got the Watchmaster. If you can throw your Cowardice near like any squad that I want to pick up, now I have to pay for it.
Yep.
And that's
huge.
tough. And because so the downside of Deathwatch, right, is that I don't have that many units. I just don't.
True. Very
I don't have
elite.
that many action pieces. So I'm spending CP every chance I get to ditch secondaries I can't score.
Mhm.
I'm burning them. And so if you are making me spend extra CP, you're going to start eking out that advantage in points or stopping me from using my strats to make me more killy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, that's a great way to do it. Or just like, yeah, like if you've got like a one really weak spot where I can shoot like a really key unit and you can screen that out with a Calidus, that's also huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, hell yeah.
Okay.
See, dog, you got any
Nice.
takeaways?
Nerf Deathwatch, dude. They won. Nerf
Whoa, yeah, true.
Deathwatch buff Votan.
Get him out of here.
Damn it.
It's okay. We'll be squad come 11th edition. I'm not worried about it.
Nerf
You'll be gone
Atamorphous.
again. Gone and then added back again. Everyone always. Well,
All
thank y'all so
okay.
much for watching. We appreciate it. This
Thank
was
y'all for having me.
the
Dude, it was a lot of
breakdown
fun.
of the GT winning, the real Colton winning the
It's me.
Amarillo GT.
True.
Thank you so much for having on. I've been Sea-Dog. My co-host Taylor, the real Colton.
The real Colton.
Hope y'all
Shout out
enjoyed.
Amarillo GT as well.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
a great event. Y'all did great. Thanks
Yep.
for having us.
All
All
right.
right. Peace.
Peace.